Hi everyone, welcome back to Catherine's Plates and my Christmas series 2020, where it's going to be full of treats, appetizers, and desserts, and we're never going to forget dinner ideas, comforting and delicious. So we are going to start off by making chocolate covered cherries. Now these mean a lot to me, not because I eat them, but because every year under the Christmas tree, my dad would put a box of chocolate covered cherries under there for my mom. So it was known every year that was going to happen. So I'm going to make these homemade. Now I've scoured the internet in every place known to man that I could find to find a recipe. And there are so many out there in so many ways, shapes, and forms. But I figured out how to bring this to you simple, easy, and very delicious. If you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. So with chocolate covered cherries, you've got the cherry and then you've got the dough formation, which is kind of a sugar base, and then you've got the chocolate. So that's it. So the first thing we're going to do in a large bowl is we're going to take 6 tablespoons of softened butter, and we're going to beat this on a medium speed until it's nice and fluffy and creamy. Okay, we're going to add 1½ teaspoons of milk. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of some vanilla extract. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of the juice from our maraschino cherries. All right, now this is 1/2 teaspoon here, so I'm using 2 of those to get the 1 teaspoon. We're going to mix that up together. Okay, now we're going to start mixing it again as we're incorporating 2½ cups of some powdered sugar. And I'm going to do that at using a 1/2 cup. Okay, we're just going to take our spatula here and roll the dough and see if that's where we want it. I think what I'm going to do is add a little more juice to this because we want a dough, but we don't want a very thin dough either. So I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon more. Okay, we have a nice crumb here, and then that is perfect. That's what we want to have happen. We want to smash it together. Okay, this is a really good dough here. You see how it's coming together? That's why you don't want to put too much liquid in there, because you don't want it too wet or it won't form onto our cherries. All right, now using a clean hand, we're just going to form a ball with this. Okay. That's what we're looking at right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just put some wrapping over it, some saran wrap or some press and seal, whatever you have. We're just going to place this in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to kind of help it solidify some more. And during that time, let me show you what we're going to do with the cherries. Okay, so these are the cherries. Now, these are maraschino cherries. Now, you want to get the ones with the stems on them if you can find those. Now, I found them easily at Walmart, and it's just their brand, great value here. It's going to be really easy if you get the stems on them, because then you can dunk them in the chocolate. If not, then you can use forks, so don't worry about that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring a kind of a cutting board over here, and I've got some paper towels lined about 3 deep. And what we're going to do is dry these cherries off for the 30 minutes that our dough is in the refrigerator. So you can see there's the stems right there. So we're going to lay them on the paper towels, and then what we're going to do is lay more paper towels on here. Now be careful when you pull these out of the jar so you don't pull the stems off. And don't try to eat them along the way.
I'm being good.
I know. They say there's 27 cherries in this jar here, so that's what we're going to be making. Now, since we have a few with no stems, I'll be able to show you how to do those without the stems. I think that's it. All right, so then what you want to do is grab some more paper towels and lay them on there, and then just very carefully just kind of blot them. You can move them around a little bit. We just want to get that excess juice off. Now, as soon as I pull that dough out, we're going to come back and we're going to work on that. Okay, so I had pulled the dough out of the refrigerator. Now, I had just moved the ball of dough into a smaller bowl there so I could have room in the refrigerator for it. So I'm just using like a melon baller, or you can use a spoon, and you want about half a teaspoon. And so I'm going to roll it in there about that much here. And then with your clean hands, you're going to kind of roll it into a ball and leave it in the palm of your hand. And then you're just going to smush it around till you thin it out, just like that. And then we're going to take a cherry, the stem side up, and then wrap that dough all around your cherry, all the way up to the stem. And then you can kind of just roll it just a little bit in your hands to get a round shape, like that. And I'm just going to place it right here, which I already have one going right there. All right, so you're just going to take some of your dough, you're going to roll it into the palm of your hand, and then just use your thumb and just kind of smash out the sides, making a circle. You're going to take your cherry right into the center, stem side up, and then bring up the dough. And then just work with it until you get it all the way up to the stem. Make sure it's all covered all the way around. And then I just kind of roll it to give it a smooth shape, being careful of the stem. Just like that. Okay, here we go. Luckily, I had 2 more hands. My husband.
Yay!
He helped, and he also found the other jar of cherries that we had in the refrigerator that I used for the pineapple upside down cookies that I made with cake mix. So we had extra cherries, and those didn't have the stems. So as you can see the ones with the stems, and then you can see the ones without the stems.
I made that one.
So let's go ahead now and start getting our chocolate ready. For the chocolate, now I'm going to be melting some semi-sweet chocolate chips for these. Now you can either melt your chocolate in the microwave, or you can do a double boiler, which is what I'm going to do today to kind of keep the chocolate nice and smooth and liquidy, okay, and that way it doesn't just kind of clump all together. So I'm bringing a big pot of water to a boil, and I've only filled it up about 1/3 of the way. And then once that comes to a boil, I'm going to put a glass bowl that's, heat resistant, over the pot and let it hang there. And then we're going to start with the chocolate chips. Okay, we have a nice simmer going on. What I'm going to do is go ahead and place my bowl onto the pot. We're going to add our chocolate chips. Now this is a 10-ounce bag. We'll go ahead and add that while the bowl is getting nice and warmed up. Now, to get a nice smooth consistency with our chocolate and to get a nice shine on it, we're going to be using some Crisco shortening. And I'm probably going to put we're going to start off with 1 tablespoon and see how that works. This should do it right here. And then you're just going to use a spatula and start moving the chocolate chips around until it's nice and melted and smooth. Oh. Gonna have fun trying to find that chocolate chip.
You're gonna have fun?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have fun.
I've tried to find your chips before.
Oh, I hope it doesn't melt down in there.
Oh,
well, I'm sure it will.
It will.
Now, I like the double boiler way because it keeps your chocolate nice and warm so you don't lose that smoothness of it. So once we get this to a nice smooth consistency, we're going to turn our burner down to a low. That way it keeps it nice and warm. Now what you want to do also is start preparing a pan with some wax paper, some parchment paper, or you can use like these little cups right here, which I'm going to use. So as I'm dunking the cherries, they're going to go right into this. These are 1.5 inch paper cups that you can use for like Christmas candy, which we're going to be using. Okay, now we have a nice smooth consistency. Now I did add just some extra Crisco shortening to this. This is what we're looking for right here. Nice and smooth. We're going to turn this down to a low. And we're going to start taking our cherries and we're just going to kind of swirl it around, going sideways to sideways like that. Drip off any excess, and then my husband's going to hold the cup over here and I'm going to place it right in there, just like that. All right, we kind of got an assembly line going on here, so.
No, I thought I was just being nice one time.
One time. Oh no, once you start something, there you go. There you go. Okay, I'm going to complete the ones with the stems, and then we'll work on the ones without the stems. And just make sure you shake off any excess.
I was shaking with you. Ooh,
all right.
That was hot.
We're going to show you what this looks like. There you go, right there. And these are going to set up in these little cups right there. Okay, so I found a really good way to do this with the cherries that don't have the stems on them. I'm going to use a toothpick here and just poke the cherry, and then I'm going to run it into the chocolate here. Pick it up. We're going to take some of that excess chocolate off, and then we're going to drop it into the cup. Just like that. All right, there is my chocolate covered cherry. I'm going to go ahead and cut this open for you so you can see what the inside looks like. Right there. This is the solid mass right here. Now, if you want it to be really liquidy, what you would do is you would make these and then you would hold on to these for a couple of weeks, and what happens is the inside sugar will kind of loosen up and become liquid, and that's why when you cut into it, it'll just pour out, kind of like the chocolate covered cherries do. So there you go right here. I like them like this. They taste really good. I'm going to try one for you. Okay, so I've got my mom's chocolate covered cherries boxed up in this pretty container here. Don't those look nice? You can just box these up and then send them out to anybody. Okay, and I showed you cutting this one up right here, so I'm going to try it. There's the holidays on a plate right here. What a delicious treat to make with your family, your kids. Get your friends to come over and help you. Those are so delicious. All right, we are starting the holidays off really good. These. Okay, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and that bell notification so you'll always know when all of my Christmas goodies are coming out this year. Okay, guys, I will see you on my next episode.